Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk to you guys about the Huawei Watch GT. This is for the most part a fitness tracker from Huawei that has pretty much all the features, sport activity, heart rate monitoring, continuous heart rate monitoring. It actually looks like a regular smartwatch, and it does have basic levels of smartwatch functionalities. But for the most part, this is going to be the smartwatch that you wear and not have to worry about charging for up to 12 days. This is TK. Let's check it out. The box is pretty simple. It just basically says Huawei Watch GT, and then pretty much the watch itself, including the charger and some included materials. The charger is magnetic and it does connect to the watch using the two magnetic pins, and there's pretty much no wrong way to put it on, because as soon as you put it on, it snaps on, and it has a pretty good strong magnet connection. The other cool thing about it is that it uses the USB-C connection, which you can pretty much use your existing charger for your phone to charge this, and you're not going to have to do it too often because you're probably going to end up doing it once every 2 weeks. As far as the design itself, overall the watch looks pretty much like a regular watch. That's the other thing. It is a fitness tracker at heart, but it does actually have the aesthetics of a regular smartwatch. We have two button options here. One option here takes us directly into the applications, the heart rate tracking and everything, and we can go back. The bottom one just takes us straight to an activity, and you can actually pre-configure that and start it if you'd like to. You notice right there, start it up, we have GPS, and I'll go ahead and start it off. And then when I'm ready to stop it, I'll go ahead and hit back, 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 back. And you can see basically all the different information. You can hit home and then go ahead and hit the stop button, say yes, and that stops the activity. Now, as far as the UI itself, we do have the ability of changing the watch faces by just pressing and holding on the watch. You can scroll through. There's a preset number. There is no additional ways of adding different watch faces. And these watch faces are basically preloaded. I've received 2 updates on this watch ever since I've had it. And overall, every time they've added like maybe 1 or 2 different watch faces. So they are adding watch faces. It's just that you're limited in the number and there is no app store to be able to download additional ones. For me, I usually like to keep either the energy orange, and I'll go back into that. You'll notice there's a little bit of a slowdown, or the standard energy with red on it. It looks really cool, and it just basically gives me all the information that I like. Swiping from the top, we have the access here just to be able to see the toggles similar to most smartwatches. You have settings, lock, of course, do not disturb, works really nice, show time, as well as the ability to see in the battery level. And we are down to 25%, and today is Wednesday the 13th. Swiping from the left takes you to other rings. So this is your activity ring. It's early in the morning. I haven't had much activity yet, so that hasn't really kicked in. We have the weather tab. We have the continuous heart rate monitoring, and it does actually work continuously. And we'll get into that with the app directly on our phone. And then last swipe takes us back. And this is the exact same thing if I swipe to the right or if I swipe from the left. Going into the app drawer, we'll go back one home, go back in. We have workout record, we have workout status, basically if you want to just see how your heart rate is doing, you can go in there. Activity records, sleep, it does actually track sleep as well. The barometer, the compass, the weather, the notification tab, stopwatch if you want to turn that on, alarm, flashlight, find my phone of course, and then we can go into the settings tab. I'll go into that part. We have the ability of customizing the display, watch face, brightness level, which is what we saw before. And then let's go back into the settings. I realized I shouldn't have done that. And then we have the do not disturb mode. System tab takes us into the restart, power off, and reset. The swiping left takes us here. Do not disturb system. And of course, about this is the Huawei Watch GT, the GT-66F. It is available over at Amazon, and I'll give you guys a link in the description below. The band that's included with it, it's actually very nice, and you can see right there the heart rate monitoring. It's activated right there. The other 2 pins are basically just what you're getting there. We'll go ahead and get it. Focus. The other pins here are those are the connector pins for the charger. It's losing sync whenever it sees that blinking as the camera's trying to focus. Other than that, I think overall the watch itself feels nice. It's not that heavy comparing it to the other watches on the market. We don't have, for the most part, most of the functionalities of a smartwatch. So if I swipe up from the bottom, you'll notice right there I have some notifications. Now interacting with them, I can go in there. I can't really see what the 2 messages are. So I can go back and I can swipe up again. Now I can read the message here and I can basically go through. I cannot initiate it, and you notice it uses a generic logo, and that's because it doesn't actually know everything. But the major applications now, it starts actually seeing them. So right there, like with the American Red Cross, it does see that, and I can actually click on it. But again, that's the most I can do. I can't reply, I can't do any functionality. And that's where part of the Light OS functionality of this system, as it's not running Wear OS, it's not running Tizen OS, it's running Huawei's proprietary operating system called Light OS. And it is extremely light, but it is very functional. Now, this does actually have a companion app. This is called the Huawei Health application. You can download directly on your Android or your iOS device. And once you install it, you'll be able to customize it and pair it directly to your watch. So right there, you can see it tells me how much the battery level is. It tells me basically if I have any new firmware updates, which I did receive a few ones in the past, currently running on 1.0.6. well, 0.6, 0.8. And of course, you can restore factory reset, raise wrist to turn on the display, automatically update over Wi-Fi, weather report notifications. You can customize what applications push notifications if you want them or not to. And I'll give it a second because it has to load all the applications on your device. But overall, the experience is very nice. The Huawei True Sleep enabled, and that will track your activity at night when you're sleeping. An activity reminder if you'd like to be notified every about an hour or so to just go out and do some steps. I have that turned off, but for the most part, you can. Now, heart rate monitoring, you can go into it. You can see basically your registered heart rate, and we can go basically a little bit on history. So average is 67, and you can go in and look at more information. You have your step counting information, and of course, you can start exercises and your profile. But other than that, I think overall, the actual watch functions very nicely. It's just don't expect smartwatch functionalities out of it. It has a long battery life, and that's one of the main really selling points of this activity tracker, because it not only works great as an activity tracker, but it lasts a long time. And then charging it is very simple. You just have to keep this with you, and you, for the most part, once every 2 weeks or so, you'll be able to charge it. For me, with consistent notification coming in from Discord, from Hangouts, from messages and so on, I was able to last about 10 days. I didn't get to the full 2 weeks that they advertised, but realistically, 10 days on a single charge on a watch that looks really nice. It's very light and does give me all the information that I want. Again, continuous heart rate monitoring is very, very functional, and it's not killing the battery doing so. So if you're looking for something like that, this is definitely going to be nice. One of the biggest selling points for me on this is the fact that it has a very long battery life. The other part is, even though it functions like a fitness tracker, it looks like a regular watch. That's a big selling point for me. So I'm getting a smartwatch look and design, and I'm still getting my notifications. And for the most part, the main thing that you have to get used to is that you actually have to act on your notifications directly on your phone. We don't have a way of responding to any text messages. There's no functionality built in there. There's no speakerphone, so we're not going to be receiving or making calls out of there. There's no assistant built into this, so you're not going to be launching anything on it. That's how you're able to get such a long battery life. A lot of the things that normally drain our battery in a regular smartwatch are not present here. So if you're looking for a long battery life, great fitness tracking, definitely a really good design, and it works with both Android and iOS, I think the Watch GT is definitely a really good offering, and you should definitely consider that. And again, I'll give you guys a link in the description below. But let me know yourself. What do you guys think about the Watch GT? Have you looked into it? Have you considered it as a next smartwatch or a smart accessory that you can get to your Android device or your iOS device? Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next video.